I heard this story from a friend, but after hearing it, I'm now so wary and creeped out and no longer want to camp by the lake. It was the end of the summer, and he and two friends went to a lakeside campground. They drove there, arrived on time way before sunset, set up their tents safely, and finished dinner. It was a breather from the city life they all lived in. There was still time to hit the sack, so the three of them were chatting in front of the campfire. The lake was a well-known suicide spot where people who wanted to end their lives went from time to time, but none of the three knew back then. As they sat down talking and drinking in front of the campfire, they noticed they could see lights even on the other side of the lake. There are several campgrounds scattered along the shore, so the three assumed there must be campers nearby and continued having a great time without paying attention. But then, the light that seemed to be a campfire on the other side gradually seemed to grow larger and larger, and soon the three of them became more interested in the light than their conversation. When they looked closely, they noticed that the light was getting closer to the three of us rather than getting larger. They weren't sure what it was because it was too fast for a boat, but in no time at all, it was right in front of them. It somehow had a soft, mesmerizing effect, and all three felt as if they were being swallowed by it. None of them knew what was happening and would just stare at this beautiful phenomenon. My friend had started smoking a cigarette just before the light approached, but just when the light passed, the cigarette he was holding with his index and middle fingers burned his skin. Ow! Hot, hot! He instantly shook it off and let go of it. The funny thing, however, was that the cigarette did not hit the ground, but made a sizzling sound. That's when my friend noticed he was standing knee-deep in the lake. The heat of the cigarette seemed to snap him back to awareness, and when he looked at his other two friends, they were both walking slowly toward the center of the lake. One was nearly waist deep, but was still walking as if he didn't care. My friend rushed over to them, slapped them on the cheek to bring them back to consciousness. When the two of them came to, neither of them seemed to know why they were in the lake. If my friend had not been smoking at that moment, they probably would have walked straight into the water and drowned themselves. The three of them were so frightened that they hurriedly packed up their tents and left the camp that night. This is a rumor, but they say that those who are psychic would not camp or even go near to that cursed lake.